Yeah, y'all gonna stop coming in my live talking about this Victor dude, bro. We hooping this year. Y'all gonna see.
Alright team, today I want to talk All-Star break. Now, it's not over. Today is actually the All-Star game, but I want to talk the skills challenge, the dunk contest, not the three-point contest because they didn't have a Spur, but specifically those two contests. Now, starting off with the skills challenge, we saw Chris Paul and Wemby take a premature exit. They got disqualified. Now, I was watching this live, and I'm sure if y'all are on the channel, y'all watched it too. I was not expecting Wemby and CP3 to try to big brain the skills challenge. I knew they really wanted to win, but their strategy was hilarious. Now, did they deserve to get disqualified? I don't think so, but I'm biased. I'm just going to straight up admit I'm a Spurs fan, so y'all know I'm going to say they outsmarted the skills challenge. Looking at their shots specifically, they were crazy. I mean, Wemby was just throwing them out there. CP3, he wasn't even shooting them. He was just grabbing them and tossing them off the rack just straight up like that. So I think that's kind of what got them in trouble. Maybe if they were a little bit closer to the rim, I mean, CP was just rolling them on the floor, if you will. So I think they maybe could have got away with it if they were shooting a little bit more at the rim, but I don't think the speed that they were going was the reason that they got in trouble. Who knows? Wemby might go again at the skills challenge until he gets one. He seems like the guy who wants to rack up all of the challenges, so I'm pretty sure we're gonna see him in at least one of every challenge before the end of his career. But let me know what y'all think of the skills challenge. I thought it was pretty hilarious, except for the part where the dude didn't let Ali LaForce interview CP3 and Wemby. He was like, no, we're not doing that. You can't interview them. That part was kind of strange. I don't know why he was so uptight about it. Maybe it was a direct order from someone above not to let them interview, because Draymond Green says Victor Wembanyama did ask several officials if he could use the strategy used at the NBA All-Star 2025 Skills Challenge via Dalton J. Johnson. Shout out to Jeff G for bringing this video onto X. But let's just go ahead and get into it, because Draymond is about to come to the defense of Wemby. So let's see.
But what I will say is Wemby walked around the court asking everybody, like, so, because they say, make 1 or 3 attempts. And Wemby said, oh, so I could just get all 3 of them up there. And he's like, yeah. So he asked. Now, he may not have asked the right people. But I will say, in Wemby's defense, he did ask a lot of people. I heard him ask maybe 5 or 6 people, like, so you sure I could just throw the ball? So
I thought that might be a Chris Paul decision instead of a Wemby decision.
it was actually a Wemby decision.
Okay.
So there you have it. This was actually a Wemby decision. When this whole thing was going down during the actual skills challenge, one of the broadcasters said CP3 has his fingerprints all over this strategy. And myself included, I was like, CP3, you really tried this? But Draymond can actually confirm that this was a Wemby decision. Wemby actually said it was his decision in his post-skills challenge interview. So he's taking responsibility for it, and I mean, if the officials were saying that he could do that, then there's no reason they should have been disqualified. Like, come on, what are we talking about? I could see it eventually affecting the integrity of the skills challenge, like that's just going to become the strategy from there on out. But if they gave him the okay, then you got to let it go for this skills challenge at least, and then you make the necessary corrections for future skills challenges. But I mean, we've never seen this before. I will say they outsmarted the rule book, even though it said valid shot attempts. I think that's why they got in trouble with CP3 just rolling them off. But I mean, you could count Wemby's as valid shot attempts. He was getting them up there. Some of them weren't close, but if you just get them a little bit closer to the rim, I think they get away with that.
It was Wemby's decision, but he probably should have went with the old vet. Because see, when we was practicing, Wemby practiced it a couple times just throwing them, and C was actually shooting. So
see, if Wemby's over here practicing that shot form or strategy, whatever you want to call it, why was no one correcting him? Until they heard the fans start booing. I understand if you're the fan of the opposite teams, like you'd be like, come on, what are y'all doing? Y'all cheesing. But I mean, you got to give them credit. Like they kind of outsmarted them. And if no one's telling them that that wasn't okay, then they should have won.
The old man followed the rookie right off the cliff. But when
Come on. So shout out to Draymond Green for jumping to Wemby's defense, and shout out to Jeff G again for bringing this to X. But as I said, the fans started booing Wemby and CP3 as they were going. So we're going to take a look at this little snippet of Wemby's interview. Shout out to Andy for this post. Y'all go ahead and give him a follow. Let's see what he has to say for himself. You're in big trouble, Wemby.
Do you think it was right for the fans to boo you in that spot?
Was I booed? I don't think I was booed.
You didn't hear it?
I wasn't booed, right? Chris was.
Oh.
Is he being sarcastic? I can't tell. His face looks like he's being dead serious, but like the boos were kind of loud. Like you had to have heard that if you were on the court. I don't know. I can't tell if he's being serious.
Right? Chris was.
He's kidding.
Was I booed?
I guess at the end, it was booed as a collective team.
Yeah. Was that right? I don't know. I mean, if the challenge lets us do that, there's a loophole. It means that we're not a problem.
That's facts. They are not the problem. I'm going to say it again. If the officials let Wemby do that, he asked the officials. Draymond said he was literally going up to everyone asking, and then they just take back on their word. So, hey, I don't know. I don't think they're the problem. Wemby obviously asked around before doing this. I don't think he would have done it without asking. So this one's on the NBA. If you didn't want him to do it, y'all should have said no before he took part in it. But hey, maybe next year Wemby will get one for real. Because I think if they actually tried, like if they were just shooting and playing hard, I think CP3 and Wemby could have easily won this. But hey, that's just my opinion. So that's all we got for the skills challenge interviews. But before we get out of here, I want to talk about the dunk contest. Now I know Mac McClung kind of went off. I've heard some people call him the greatest dunker of all time. I mean, I don't think so. When you think about all the preparation that went into Mac McClung's dunks, he really had the whole year to do this. Like he's not playing in the league. I guess you could say he's getting buckets in the G League, but his main focus was this dunk contest and three-peating, as it should be. I mean, I would be focused on it too. But I mean, is he really in the league though? I don't want to sound like a party pooper because y'all are gonna tell me I'm a biased Spurs fan. I know I'm a biased Spurs fan, but I'm just trying to point out the facts. I'm not taking anything away from him, because if you really boil down to it, I think Mac McClung won strictly off the fact that he did all his dunks in one try. If Steph Castle completed that one dunk where he shot it through the hoop, bounced off the floor East Bay on his first try, that's a 50, and they're going to a dunk off. Me personally, I would have still gave it a 50 because I don't think I've ever seen that dunk before. That is one of the craziest dunks I've ever seen. And so for Castle to be able to match Mac McClung's dunks, in my opinion, is just insane itself. Like, this All-Star break has been huge for Stephon Castle. I know he got the Rising Star MVP, and he came up second in this dunk contest. He's actually playing today in the All-Star game. But this weekend overall for Stephon Castle has shown me that he has All-Star potential. He belongs here on this stage. Just the poise he has to be able to stay calm while Mac McClung's doing all this and the fans are glazing. I don't know if I'll call it glazing. Some of those dunks are pretty crazy. Like the one over the car, that was probably my favorite dunk. But like I said, just to stay composed and execute his dunks as well. Like we saw Matas and the dude on the Bucks, they weren't even able to complete one good solid dunk. So I'm very impressed with Stephon Castle, not taking anything away from him. And I think if this was any prior dunk contest, like the last other 2 years, 3 years, he could have very well won this. But hats off to Stephon Castle. Hats off to Mac McClung. I think he did some pretty good dunks. All the props were kind of a boost. I mean, Stephon Castle just brought it straight on the court and was delivering some crazy dunks. He didn't need no props. In my opinion, that should boost his score a little bit, just like Mac McClung using props is boosting his score. But hey, I'm not going to get too deep into it. Mac McClung won. Leave y'all's guys' opinions down below in the comment section. Always interested to see what y'all have to say. And y'all be sure to tune into the All-Star game today. I believe it is in about an hour, so maybe this video will be up right when the All-Star game. I don't know. But y'all be sure to leave a like, comment down below, subscribe as always, and until then, it's me, your boy Chris, and I'm out.